Hello, Jim here. Today I want to talk about how you can make some really good extra income on a monthly basis just with a few trades. I'm going to talk about my different wheel strategies for different size accounts, ones that are good for $10,000 accounts, $25,000 to $30,000 accounts, or $60,000 to $75,000 accounts. I'm going to go over some actual trades and also give you kind of an update on what I think is going to be going on with the market here on out. So stay tuned. I think it's going to be well worth your while. Okay, let's jump right in. I've been out for a couple weeks because of the flu. Glad to be back, and thanks for all the well wishes that I got both from subscribers and members. So today I want to talk about the market. It's been a crazy couple of weeks with the new Trump administration and the whole Doge process that they're going through. I do think that will have an impact. I believe there's going to be a lot of people who leave the government employment, and it might hit unemployment. I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of a headwind. I also believe that the rates are going to stay the same probably through the next 6 months, 9 months, which I like. I like the fact that the rates are a bit higher. So I think that's going to continue. So it's going to be kind of what we've gone through. It's going to be a little bit topsy-turvy, some, good days, some bad days in the markets. But I think overall we're going to be trending higher. I also think once tariffs are kind of, we know more of what's going to go on with the tariffs. I think that they won't have as big an impact as we originally thought. So, but I do believe they'll influence the market until there's some certainty about them, what exactly is going to be going on. So that's my 2 cents. And as always, it's probably only worth 2 cents. So, okay, one of the things I really like to do with most of my videos is talk about picking the right companies, both in two fundamental areas. One are companies that have good fundamentals, meaning they have good debt to equity, good retained earnings, good ROE, ROA, also have growth, maybe pay dividends or growing dividends. And then also they can't be way overpriced. They can't, have a PE of 200 or something. If they have a PE is pretty close to their sector average. So in a sense, it's good fundamentals, but then also not overpriced. Now, a new criteria is momentum. Seeking Alpha actually shows momentum as one of the key factors it uses. And I believe that it is very important because momentum will have an impact. If a company has, fairly high momentum, then if they do have good earnings, they typically will go up quite a bit. The recent market, it's been very inefficient. So if a company doesn't have good momentum and it has good earnings, it may still go down. We saw that with Bluebird. I've also saw it with AMD. AMD were in line with earnings, and I think they did pretty well, but they went down. Also, same thing with Google. And then you have other companies like Palantir that just shot through the roof, had good earnings, but not outrageously great. So I am beginning to look at momentum and trying to tie that into how I figure out or how I pick the stocks that I want to pick. So I am going to tie that criteria in there. But I am not going to go away from fundamentals. I will not, trade in companies that don't make money. And I also won't trade in companies that, in my mind, are way overvalued. So, and then what also is important is, especially in this kind of a market, don't get too emotional. In some cases, assignment may be your best bet. I'm looking at that potentially with AMD. I may go ahead and let AMD get assigned. Or I may do a leap and roll it way out. But I'm taking my time making a decision. In that time process, if it gets assigned to me, I'm okay with that. I'll start selling covered calls. And I do want to own some. I don't know that I want to own 400 shares, but I'm okay with owning 200 shares. So putting the management processes in place are really important, and not kind of getting emotional about it, taking my time. And that's what I encourage with everyone, that try not to get too emotional related to your trading. I like to set goals. I usually do 1 or 2 trades a day. Once I reach those goals, like currently for this week, the first week of February, I'm currently at 1850. My goal for the week is 2000. So one more trade and I've reached that goal. And at that point, I might do another trade. I might not. I don't stay in the market and keep trading. I do have members that do that, and that's something you like to do, then that's okay. But I personally prefer to, make a trade or two and then get out and do other things. I'm still software consulting. I'm actually building a barndominium. So I have meetings with architects and other people. So just something I wanted to mention. So the main part of this video is I'm testing 3 wheel strategies, and primarily because I've had people ask me questions. Well, I have a small account, 10,000. What kind of trades can I make in that? So I set up a wheel related to like a $10,000 account, another one related to a $25,000 account, and then an even bigger one between like a $50,000 to $70,000 account. They all work slightly different. The 2 smaller wheel accounts primarily do cash secured puts, and then the large one will do spreads. Do you necessarily not want to do spreads or even iron condors in the smaller accounts? Well, you can do that. But a lot of people, if you have a really small account and you're just starting out, the only thing you can really do is cash secured puts. So that's why I'm starting there and setting up these trades in these different accounts, to show people 1 or 2 trades, especially in a small account, can have a wild improvement on the returns. So, and I'll share that in the video at the end of the video when I go over the spreadsheet. And it's really amazing. And it's even true to a point with the bigger account. You only need a few trades that have a fairly big impact. So what I encourage people to do is, once you find the company you want to own, then make a trade, and you don't necessarily have to make a lot of trades. It can work out quite beneficial to you. So I'm kind of rambling right now, probably related to my after effects from the flu, but let's just jump in. I think sometimes getting hands-on is the best way to explain exactly what I mean. So in this next part, I'll go over the spreadsheet that I've set up that contains these 3 types of wheel strategies. So stick with me. I think it's going to be really interesting. Okay, this is my options wheel strategies workbook. It has all 3 strategies within the same workbook. Just for simplicity's sake, typically I will upload this to my memberships, both in Patreon and Discord. That way members can see the trades. They can blank them out, put their own trades in, or just use the formulas and what's currently in there. But my goal for this one, the 10K conservative wheel strategy, is the fact that a few trades in a really small account can have make a major difference. So here back in January, I did 2 trades. I did one in HIMS, which I closed fairly quickly. I believe within a week or 2, I also closed it. And then one in Fiverr. Between the 2, they brought in $361. And then this is in Fidelity. So I also earned some pretty good interest. So around $33.68 in interest, which is 4.15 on a yearly basis. So it's broken down for one particular month. So total I brought in $395. My required total capital, which is just these 2 numbers, was $97.38. And just with these 2 trades, it's almost like a 3.71% monthly ROI or 44.2% yearly ROI. So you could double the account in 1.62 years, which is pretty significant. And then I'm looking to make another trade, or I'll probably look at rolling Fiverr, and then I may do another HIMS trade or find something else that also works well. I'm looking for less expensive stocks that work well with cash secured puts, have good premium, and again, all the main criteria I like about stocks, good fundamentals. And then I'm also going to try to find some good momentum plays. HIMS has got good momentum. Fiverr, not as good as HIMS, but also okay. Then I've got this monthly wheel. This is for people who have a slightly larger account. And I've been doing this for several months. So I started in October, and then I also did November, December, and in January. And I've just started in February now. I opened a PayPal trade that brought in some pretty good premium, 223. So, and then for this, I brought in 4274 on all these different trades. And then interest is 543 because again, it bridged 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 months. And then the total income, 4818. And then if you break it down monthly, it's 963.74 monthly. And a yearly income will be 11,564. And again, total capital of 2808. 88. So the monthly ROI on it was like 3.43%. Again, very similar to the $10,000 account. And it's like a yearly ROI of nearly 41%. And you could double this account, again, using the rule of 72 in 1.75 years, so less than 2 years. And I started with, different companies. That's one thing about the wheel. It is difficult to do it month in, month out with the same companies. Companies will shoot up or they'll miss earnings and drop big time. The only one that's been assigned to me is Pens, and I've been writing covered calls on it. And the other one, I believe Bluebird is pretty deep in the money currently, but I actually want it to get assigned to me so I can sell a covered call, and it's been pretty deep in the money for like a week or two now. So, so you can see just a few trades. You're talking, I did 4, 4, 5, and 5. So I've been averaging between 4 and 5 trades a month. So I'll do a few more. So these numbers are actually a little bit lower. This will probably be closer to 1,200 or 1,100 on a monthly basis. I won't go over the notes. I've talked about them in the past, but I'm just talking about some of the same information and the fact that Bluebird, I wanted to get assigned to me, but it hasn't yet. And then finally, I have this spread wheel trades, and these are for bigger accounts. And typically, if you've been trading for a while, you're dealing with more complex strategies. My mistake with this is I did too much with the chip makers. So that's why I have AMD here is marked as kind of in pink. I've got to figure out what to do with it. It's currently pretty deep in the money. I'm thinking I might roll it out, maybe go out 2 to 3 months, but just like the others, doing 3 or 4 every month. Also did it with Mara and Iron Condor. So these are mostly vertical put credit spreads. Most of these, the ones in green are the ones that are open. And this one I just did on 2-4. Trying not to cough. So I am heating a cough drop. But here you can see I brought in 55.84 in this wheel strategy. I brought in some pretty good interest. Monthly income 1641. Yearly income 19,700. Total required capital 28,144. Is that right? Yeah, that's required capital, meaning it's taken into effect purchasing the outer puts. Now, if you use what I call total assignment capital, meaning if everything was assigned to you, it's more like 71,000. So here you can see for required capital, it's almost like a 6% monthly return. Yearly ROI would be nearly 70%, so you'd be almost doubling it on a yearly basis. And then monthly ROI, total capital would be 2.31% or 27.73%. This is based on total assigned capital, so this 71,000. So even basing it on the 71,000, you still have really good returns, 27.73, and you'd be doubling that account every 2.6 years. So, and then this area combines all the different wheel strategies. So Total required capital 65. Total assigned capital is right around 100, a little over 100, 108. Total income from the three accounts is $3,000. And this would be for required capital 4.55%, or 2.76 for total assigned. So this versus this. And then yearly ROI is almost 33%. So again, rule of 72, you're still doing really well. And that's being pretty conservative with the number of trades. I did more in December, but I haven't done many in February yet. So you can see I'm still trying to get over this flu. I got into my chest. So this is what I wanted to show you, how in these three different accounts, and I'll probably do separate videos on each of these down the road, you can do quite well. And you don't have to do a number of trades. One or two trades can make a big difference. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. I'd like to respond to my comments. And sorry about coughing. Trying to get better. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you the next time.